How has your background being Filipino, your family, how you grew up, etc., shaped your journey and perspective as an entrepreneur? Oh, that's a good one. So, if you're Filipino like myself, you're probably raised in a family that's like, say no to debt. Like, debt is terrible. That's going to ruin your life. I didn't get a credit card till I was 22. Okay, so I had to start building credit at a pretty late stage. And that may have, again, may have slowed down my business journey, but what I look at it was part of the journey. I had to go through that to get to where I am now. A big one is the importance of family as a value. Okay, so you'll hear me talk about this every now and then. Something I stole from Jordan Peterson is that, whoa, someone's shooting at me. Is that we'll be communists within the family, but then capitalists with everyone else. Okay? So what does that mean exactly? That means that whenever I'm building something, building a new business, making sure that we have assets, adding to the financial statement and the balance sheet, I am focused on doing that for the family. Yeah, someone was shooting at me midair. I was getting wrecked there. Yeah, so like the big reason why I'm actually building these businesses was because I knew that if I didn't, I would have to take care of mom and dad, and I would only have a job to do that. Which, my teaching job, I loved it. It paid well for a job. That being said, it would not be enough to retire out two parents plus start a family plus live the life that I actually want to live. Okay, so that's why I had no choice but to start a business. And that business is for the family, right? With everyone else, we will be capitalists and make sure that we are providing value, but within the family, it is very communist type of regime, right? Like we are sharing things. Any money that I make, I will essentially use that for the family and build up the bloodline. Okay. Now, other ways that being Filipino has affected that is like shame. Shame is a big tool that's I find is used sometimes in Filipino culture, where it's like, oh, if I ever act in a way that doesn't put the family first, basically I get shamed on that. It's like, oh, you don't care about the family, da da da. Which, you know what? Shame is a great motivator. And sure, sometimes you're just like, oh, you get into these arguments with like family and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it has been a motivator basically to be like, hey, like make sure that you do things for the family. Now there are some risks to that, like it could lead to like codependency issues and all this other stuff. I'm not a therapist or anything, but there is an effect to that. So just something to think about. Another one, let's think here. When it comes to being Filipino and that culture, I'm trying to think here. What else? How else does that affect my journey? I mean, no one was really an entrepreneur in my immediate family anyway. So like there's a scarcity mindset of being like an immigrant. So that had some sort of effect, I'd like to say. And it's something that, I've hired shrinks, mindset coaches, and even like to surround myself with people that are at that higher level that have helped me really get past that scarcity mindset. So big one is like, having a bunch of debt, but then it's good debt because it's in assets. It's used to acquire assets anyway. And what I have noticed is that there is like that big fear, and eventually my parents start to understand a little bit more, like, okay, like this is good debt. There's sometimes that crab mentality here that is talked about in the Filipino culture sometimes, where it's like, oh, if you're doing well, people don't necessarily want you to do well. I find that is not always true. Like, then again, I could be biased, right? I could be hanging out with people that are just like at that abundance mindset. An example of this is like, I'll share wins with different groups that I'm in, like different friend groups. And in some friend groups, it's like, yeah, like awesome, everyone's winning. We're all clapping each other on. It's like amazing when someone else wins. And then other times it's like just crickets in other groups. So like that's where I kind of see that difference where it's like, some people they want you to win and then other people they're just like we don't want to hear it. And you know what? That's fine, right? It's just like it was a social experiment I was kind of doing all this whole year where I'd literally copy and paste the same celebrations into different groups just so I can tell like, hey, who are the groups that I can actually celebrate with? And then, they genuinely want you to win. And then who are the groups where it's like, hey, maybe we don't want to like share our wins here, which is fine, right? Just like don't spend 8 hours hanging out with those people and like don't build businesses with those people. That's okay. Like not everyone wants to win. I used to think everyone was built for the shit. To like actually build a business, actually become a high performer, then the more I kind of realized like, no, not everyone is built for this shit. It's too bad. But something that's helped me is actually One Piece, and it's called Hegel's Authentic Master, and basically it's this whole idea that we can't force people, even if it's what's good for them. We can just offer the opportunity to be like, hey man, if you want to get to that next level with me and come for the ride, awesome. If not, it's all good. Choice is always yours. So just don't get in the way. I'll even tell my parents that, especially my mom. My mom has sometimes scarcity mindset. She's getting better. I actually caught her the other day being, while she's working out, she's like saying affirmations out loud. She's like, I'm wealthy, I'm rich, I'm happy, I have everything that I need. It was kind of cool. What would you tell someone in their 20s who wants to become a high performer and real estate investor? That's a good one. First one, this is key. You got to understand what money is. Okay, if you don't know what money is, then how the hell are you going to build up assets and get to financial freedom if you don't know what money is? Okay, what is money? Okay, if you got to Google that, Google that. Quick little answer for you. Money is a store of value used to exchange goods and services. Okay, if it doesn't have those qualities, then it can't be considered money. Yeah. Next, if you want to understand that aspect and become a high performer and a real estate investor at a young age, is you got to learn how to do deal analysis. And if you don't know what a good deal is, and this is why I said you got to understand what money is, because then that's going to lead you to understanding deal analysis. And then that's going to help you basically build your financial statements. All deal analysis really is, you guys watching, deal analysis is the financial statement of a real estate deal. Okay? If you don't know how to do that, it's going to be very difficult to move forward in real estate and become a high performer. Next thing that you want to do to become a high performer in your 20s is you got to lock in a routine. Okay? If you don't have a routine, you are essentially screwed. Okay? You need to have a routine. And this could be something simple as maybe you're working out each day, okay? Maybe it's the first thing you wake up, you know exactly what you're doing. I'm not going to give you an exact routine just because part of the game is you figuring out what works for you, but you need some sort of routine, whether that's daily, a portion of your day is like routined out, or it's weekly or monthly. You need that structure or else it's very difficult to become a high performer because you cannot control the output. Okay? All you can do, truly, is control the inputs. Okay? So the moment you have an understanding of, okay, what do you need to do day to day, week to week, month to month, and have that as a routine, that's really going to help you out to get to that next level. Okay. As a high performer, you gotta understand there's different aspects to life. I look at it as health, wealth, relationships, passions. Okay, so health, you want to optimize that. Okay, it's very difficult to become a high performer if you're in shitty health, right? What is health? Health is just breaking it down like exercise and nutrition. right? And like, what are your inputs for your mental health? And then what are your inputs for even like spiritual health? Okay? Relationships, you gotta have good relationships, people that lift you up. You gotta be around other high performers. It's very difficult to become a high performer if you're doing this alone.
What's up, YouTube? Thanks so much for all your support. If you're loving this kind of content and you want to help us make more, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I appreciate you guys so much. We would not be able to do this YouTube journey without you. So thanks so much. If you haven't subscribed already, don't be a ninja watcher. Hit that subscribe button right there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
The knowledge I had with real estate wasn't that great, and that's when I knew I needed a mentor to guide me through the steps of minimizing my mistakes and obtaining property. It kept me accountable with the limited time I had after the long hours at work. It taught me things I wouldn't have learned without a mentor.
Thank you to Patrick. Big helped me with pretty much everything ever since I started. So big shout out to Patrick and Alliance.
Nice. Yeah, Nick's an action taker, so we can help guide you, but you still got to do work, and Nick is a testimonial for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Patrick, for this program. It changed my life. It changed my mindset. It changed everything. That was the best six weeks of my life.
I just want to give a shout out to my man Patrick. Just honestly been one of the best teachers that I've ever had.
It's a very informative course. Patrick works with you one-on-one, so if there's any questions or anything you might be doubting or you're uncertain of, he'll definitely be there to help. Honestly, highly suggest this course. It's taught me a lot through my journey.